Okay, here is a 2017 Maserati Gran-turismo Sport. Um, this car is one of those cars that people either love them or they hate them. um, this particular car is one of my personal cars. I personally, I love the car. I love the body. It's timeless. It's been around a long time. They started making them, around 2007 or 2008. They've made small changes through the body. The side skirts have been changed. Um, it didn't have that lip there in the early 2000s or late 2000s when they started. And then it started to be on the MC Stradale or the MC Sport line. And then they got rid of it and put the vent on the side for the MCs and just left it on the sports. Same thing with the front. The front used to just have the fog lights, and then they gave it this shark look. The 2018 after that has a little more of a shark look to it. I personally just like this one better. I got this brand new when it was. I bought it when it was brand new. I did, very small modifications. Nothing to the engine or anything like that. But I got it, I got it in black and red, the Rosso red interior with the matching brake calipers. The only thing I did to this car, which I think personally really, makes it look perfect. I think it's perfect as is. All I did was just tint the windows, not very dark. During the day you can see through pretty clearly, like being able to see through to the red interior. I had the emblems done black with the with the red striping to match the rest of the car. I put a small lip on the trunk, and I had the chrome deleted. I just wrapped I had the chrome wrapped in matte black. So that's really all that I did to it, and I think it just came out beautifully. I love the way it looks, all murdered out, but the vents are done black here. I mean, the only chrome on the car really is that line on the back, the vents here and here, around the edge here, all the way around is chrome normally, and I just had that wrapped black, and I think that really makes the car, I think it looks great like that. That's my opinion. I love this car. I think it's a beautiful car. A lot of the time you'll actually see logos, car logos in general, that are really based off this car, the body style. Literally, if you just even look at the emblem on my business, that body style is pretty much the exact body of this car. Wasn't on purpose, wasn't intended, but it is literally shaped the exact same. But let's get more in depth. People love to hate this car because of number one, because of the weight. Number two, because of the interior. Everybody thinks the tech is so outdated and everything, which, compared to the new cars, it is. But a lot of people that talk about these cars, see, I personally had the red done with the black piano wood and the black stitching. But a lot of people that talk about these cars or whatnot, they're not owners. They can drive it and review it or whatnot, but they don't own the car. They don't have it every day. I think to really, really, really be able to give an opinion on a car, you need to be either you have to own the car for a while, or you have to be in the business where you are dealing with them regularly and you know what the cars are all about. Otherwise, just driving it once is not going to give you a real idea of what it is to have one of these on a regular basis. I mean, obviously this car, it's an exotic car. That's the one thing about Maserati now. You know, Maserati now has all these American parts because they're owned by Chrysler now. This was the last pure Italian car with that Ferrari V8. Let's take a look at that real fast. The engine is a beautiful engine. And sadly, they stopped producing them in 2019. I think they made the last one in that crazy paint scheme. But you know, they were supposed to come out with a Alfieri, and that car actually looked I thought it looked really nice. And I was looking forward to getting one, but unfortunately they dropped the ball, and now it is not being made. Sorry about that. There's the engine, and so now they're not making the Alfieri, I guess. I was waiting years for that car to come out because I really liked it. But now Ferrari beat them to it, and they came out with the Roma, which is pretty much the exact same car as the Alfieri. But personally, I think the Alfieri looked much better. But that's something that's not happening now, so it really doesn't matter. But this engine is still a beautiful engine. 4.7 liter V8, 454 horsepower, mid-engine car. You know, I think Maserati is dropping the ball lately with the, you know, American parts, Quattroporte and the Ghibli. I just don't think those cars they're not true Italian cars, and you can tell by driving them. You can tell in the sound and everything. You know, this is what this car is all about. You know, everybody loves this noise. The sound of this car is what this car is all about. It sounds amazing. You know, a lot of people think it has basically two sounds, like, you know, sport, off, and on, which it actually kind of has three. It has off, where it's pretty quiet, sport, where it sounds good, and then there's when you put it in manual, or like the F1 Tiptronic, it really gets loud then. So let me just rev this a little and hear, you know, what everybody loves this car for. Yeah, that's what everybody loves Maserati for. It's an amazing sound on the car. I personally love the car. I love driving it. People compare this to a Ferrari and Lamborghini, and they say, oh, it's not worth it because the tech is outdated and blah 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 and all that stuff. You know what, like, you know, you don't buy this car to use. I didn't buy this car thinking about the tech. It has navigation and the basic stuff, heated seats and whatever, and that's really all that I care about. You know, the car rides great. It's not a track car by any means, but it you know, the car moves, and it's a beautiful car. Everywhere I go, I'm told how beautiful the car is. I mean, that's not why I bought it. Sadly, that's why many people buy these cars. HT videos all over. If you want to look rich, buy this car, which is a very stupid thing to do. If you can't afford a certain car, don't buy it. You know, don't overextend yourself. You know, if you want something that costs money, work, and that should be inspiration to just really try harder and go after more in life. Make more money. Do whatever you can. You know, get into business. Get into other things, multiple income streams. But never, you know, just buy a car that you really cannot afford just because you want to say you have a Maserati or you want to say you have a Ferrari. There's too many people out there that buy a 355 Ferrari or a Gran-turismo, even like a 2008 for $28,000, and surprise, something goes wrong with the car, and guess what? It's still $10,000 to fix a problem. So if you are, again, with the warranties, if you're not, buying the car and you don't have the money to be able to own the car, you shouldn't be buying it. That's where it comes in. If you're buying cars like this new, obviously they come with warranties. That's, when I bought it new. I still have a warranty on the car. Just, know your limits and get to where you need to be before you, earn yourself what you want. You shouldn't be buying a $160,000 car unless you have a good $250,000 liquid in the bank. That's my opinion. A lot of people don't. A lot of people want to just buy things because they want to look a certain way or whatnot, and that's everybody to each his own. Me personally, I just think that people overextend, and that's why they never get far in life, because they are so full of debt from buying things or paying for things that they really couldn't afford, they really should have never got to begin with, that they get themselves stuck in a hole, and then they're screwed. Hence why any kind of car like this, a Ferrari, a Maserati, a Porsche, anything, if you're going to buy one used, buy a warranty. Don't be stupid. Don't cheap out on a car like this, because it's going to cost you a hell of a lot to fix if something goes wrong, let alone, getting an oil change. If you're going to use, that's the thing, if you're a mechanic, once again, that's a different story, and the cars. But if you're going to buy a car and take it to the dealer to have the work done, you're looking at, $1,000, $1,500 for oil changes, or, $1,000 for an oil change and $5,000 for brake change, which, if you know what you're doing, you could find the brakes and have them changed for much less. You don't need to spend that much money on an oil change. But, again, people want, when people buy these cars, if they're buying them correctly, they want maintenance records to see what was done, and it was done right. But let me get back to the shifting on this. A lot of people think that it has basically two, like sport and regular and sport. But when it's in sport now, when you shift it over to manual, it's much louder. I'm going to put it right back in regular, and you see it gets quieter. Without the sport, there's no sound, really, nothing. Sport now, you can hear it some, and then when you put it in manual, that's when you really hear it. So there's really actually three switches for sound on this car. The car rides great. I think it's nice and smooth. It doesn't take things too hard. It's still a sports car, so you hit a pothole, you're gonna feel it. It's not like anything like a Mercedes, where if you you can go over potholes with feeling nothing. But it rides good. It handles pretty good. It's not, it doesn't handle like a Ferrari or Lamborghini. It's not meant to. It's meant to. This car, I enjoy driving the car. I enjoy feeling the car and just feeling the road and hearing that engine and just enjoying it. I really don't pay attention. Most people pay attention to all of this stuff. The screen, the buttons, the climate control, like all this ridiculous stuff that, when you're driving the car, who cares?